Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. So a few hours ago there was quite a lot of drama in Supreme Court where both lawyers, I'm referring to both the governor's lawyer and Martin Amaewhule's lawyers, blocked it out. Of course, a lot of things fly out. If you check our playlist, we gave you update as it was coming online real time. But right now, Ikenga have decided to air a lot of things, and one of which, shockingly, is to show us the technicality to which Martin Amaewhule's group were coming from and to dispel all the propaganda therein. I can tell you for free that even though there was a press release, if you check our playlist, you also see that, even though there was a press release made by Martin Amaewhule and the defected 25 lawmakers, it didn't sit well with them as well. It looks as if, though they have won in their minds, they have won, they've been given some sort of temporary victory, even though there was no verdict passed yet by the Supreme Court. But you could see the fears in their faces, the uncertainty in their future, their political career, despite the fact that they believe in the withdrawal of the case, there's hope. But it looks like Ikenga have dispelled all of the little shares of hope they had by giving us all of the technicalities and the provisions and what is obtainable in the Constitution. But he didn't spare Wike, their leader. He opened up a lot of cankerworms. Now, let me take the cat out of the bag. Let's hear from the horse's mouth as he spelled it all. This is definitely not good news for pro-Wike lawmakers. Let's watch it. We'll come back for more.
No judgment from the Supreme Court that has affected the issue of the speakership of the Rivers State House of Assembly, ably led by Okejumbo. There is no case or judgment that have been lost by Governor Fubara at the Supreme Court. No case, and I want to repeat that very clear because of this misinformation, that there is no judgment from the Supreme Court that was lost by Governor Sim Fubara. There is no judgment that was lost by the Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly, Okejumbo. There is no judgment anywhere from the Supreme Court that have touched on the issue of speakership of the Rivers State House of Assembly. And for somebody who is so humble, so accommodating, like Governor Fubara, all these things was unwarranted. All this assault and all this distraction was unwarranted. Today they are debasing our court, putting our court in difficult moments, obtaining injunctions from Maraba to Nyanya to every part of this country. Because one man wants to seize what does not belong to him. You have a governor who, even me, I can't do that. I will tell you this one won't work. But to tell you how accommodating and how transparent that he is, he allowed him to appoint all the commissioners, all of them. He allowed him appoint SSG, everything, chief of staff, his cousin. He allowed him appoint the leadership of the House of Assembly. He allowed him retain his local government chairman and the Agon leadership the way he wanted. All commissioners, even the security details, the ADs, everything that makes a government, even revenue generating agencies that were there, he left it. No governor, ask all the governors, even governors who are listening to me today knows that no governor in Nigeria have allowed that. But Governor Fubara allowed it. Is this same man you're saying is not loyal, is not respectful, is ungrateful? He allowed you practically have his liver so that peace can reign. Despite the fact that you control the House of Assembly, you handpick them, you have all the commissioners, you have all the special advisors, you have the local government, you have the source of revenue generation, you have everything that makes a government. It still was not enough for you. It's not a Fubara's problem. It's your problem. It's your character. It's who you are. You are intolerant. You can't stay in a conducive environment. And that is why this fight started. The man can't surrender his kidney for peace to reign. As a human being, has to stand up, wanting to even impeach him, even at a time that he's not even up to 2-3 months old in office. At that moment, the humanity in him has to stand up in defense of himself, his family name, his generation, and the state resources. And then since that time, it has been from one trouble to another. Local government chairman tenure will expire. You go and concoct something in a 2-bedroom in Amaewhule and say they can stay in office forever because you want them to have access to the resources of the people even when they were not elected. They now say, okay, they want to do the election that you said they didn't want to do. Bombs started flying everywhere. Party officers started being shot. Headquarters of council, even after the election, head were being bombed left, right, and center. The IG have not even arrested anybody, even when we know the bombers. Nothing has happened. So there was nothing that warrants all these things. Now, multiple cases are being filed. If you go to Federal High Court and Appeal Court, there's no less than 80 cases. Because one man is seeking to take that which does not belong to him. But I want to express my love and happiness for Rivers people and the entire opposition family and these people living in APC for standing firm that there should be a limit to political madness of this nature. You now want to turn our courts so that children yet unborn can feel that our court people cannot trust it? How can the court legalize that lawmakers who decamp before the very eye of every Nigerian are going to still be lawmakers so that you make an illegal attempt to remove the governor? That would be an invitation to anarchy. It will not work. It doesn't matter what you obtain anywhere. It will not, because everybody saw it. There's that which is visible to the blind and clear to the deaf. The essence of this was to dispel the roadside gossip and rumors that have been sharing online and everywhere that Supreme Court ruled in their favor. The Supreme Court did not deliver any judgments today that affected the legitimacy of the Okejumbo leadership. Supreme Court did not deliver any judgment which Fubara lost. What Supreme Court did today was Governor Fubara, in his great wisdom, invoked and relying on the provisions of Order 11, Rule 14 of the Supreme Court rules, realizing that his appeal over the issue of where 2024 budget should be presented knows very well that 2024 has passed. Taxes have been collected for 2024. Revenue 2025 have been spent. And in order to save the Supreme Court time, because it's not like those fighting who are professional litigants, who have junction left, right, and center. He's a man who believes in due process and decency. He decided to withdraw it because what are we appealing against? Are we going to represent it again? It's like representing 1980 budget or 1990 budget. Are we going to collect taxes again to back it up, the expenditure? No, it has been spent. And people can see where those monies were applied. And based on that, Governor of Rivers State urged his lawyer, led by Yusuf Ali and Chris Uche, to withdraw the appeal, which is now an act of academic exercise issue. And also that the case on the issue of membership of that House of Assembly is at the appeal court. The case is treated by APP. It's at the appeal court. The case where the judge at the Federal High Court said that it was a pre-election matter, issue of somebody cross-carried. And that's what is at the appeal court. And we believe strongly that justice will be done because it's not a pre-election matter. And because Nigerians, everybody saw it, it's a test case for our judiciary. How do you navigate, or how do you go against the fact that Nigerians saw these desperados acting under the instruction of one man, leave their political party at the time there was no division into APC, and then jumped out in the morning again and said they are returning back to PDP? How are they going to have that legitimacy and moral right to call themselves lawmakers to achieve their uphill, impossible task of attempting to illegally remove Fubara from office? Well, this is what all this boast is all about. And as God has been so kind, the man has, despite all these desperate desertion, the bombing, the killing, everything, has maintained the school and continued to deliver on the promises he made to Rivers people on Rivers First agenda.
All right, welcome back. Now, this whole press release have put to rest all of the propaganda, all of the naysaying, all of the is it true, is it not true. It was a professional look was needed. Of course, no defense counsel would open his mouth and say that his client have lost. He will still keep hope alive, even though the verdicts have not yet been passed. Of course, Ikenga explained critically some of those loopholes in the Constitution that, for cases like this would make it a little bit more, more easier for the judges to do the needful. You can now see that it could be called a temporary or momentary academic exercise if Fubara had gone ahead to, continue with a case that has already been overturned or overcome with events, one of which is the fact that we are no longer in 2024, and this said budget have been fully executed. But now the question now is, what is the fate, or what will be the fate of the 25 lawmakers, including Martin Amaewhule, the defected leader? But now the bone of contention, because a whole lot of persons, both their camp and the camp of Fubara, is saying the same thing, and that is the Supreme Court is yet to give the verdict. But whatever the verdict is, it's clearly sure, it's a sure thing that there is a case running concurrently right now in appeal court that speaks concerning this issue of speakership, of which they know. And like Honorable Kenga did mention, which is unfortunately the truth, for some persons don't like to hear this truth, It's the fact that there are video evidences everywhere. I don't know how whoever that wants these guys, whoever that wants to put undue pressure on the judiciary for them to go on technicalities over what Nigerians saw, over what he said with his mouth, having followed due process, that he defected, him and the 25 lawmakers defected properly, following due process on the House, in the plenary, and all of a sudden you're saying we didn't defect, it was just the work of Fubara. Excuse me, you're a grown adult, you're supposed to be an honorable member. So what is honor? What is honorable in that act of, retrieving what you have said openly without, this is a clear cut of, lying, and it's honestly, unbecoming of any politician who would do that. We understand the fact that sometimes our politicians can play to the gallery, but not at this level where evidences are bound. And so I do not know why they want to put our judiciary on undue and immense pressure by making them go on technicalities when there are able proofs everywhere, all over the social media, all over the media outlets, and it doesn't make any common sense to put them on due pressure and, promoting any form of anarchy, because anything other than what Nigerians, the evidences that are everywhere for all to see, even though they are denying it, it will be short of justice. But then again, we've not even gotten to that road, and maybe that's one of the reasons why you are seeing the defected lawmakers, Martin Amaewhule's friends and colleagues, not being totally happy, but they were hopeful. And I saw it in their faces that all they wanted was, even if it's just 48 hours of being a lawmaker again, even if Fubara would just make a little mistake by just saying, okay, let us uphold Justice Omotosho's ruling, even though it is not even binding, because verdicts have not yet been given concerning the Supreme Court matter, and they are just allowed 48 hours of being a speaker, 48 hours of returning back to the House. Though we all do a lot of things, but I can assure you for free that Fubara has a team of very competent lawyers, team of very competent loyalists who have chewed the Constitution, looked through the Constitution, seen all the loopholes, and are ready to defend justice. Well, let's see how this plays out. But if you ask me personally, I would have just said this guy should just prepare for the next coming elections. 2026 is an election year, just a few months out. We're here and there. They should start familiarizing with their constituency and see how they can get back the seat. Or better still, I don't know why we are going about this fall back and center. Go meet INEC. Come on, give us a by-election. Let's do this by-election. Let's test our popularity. Who knows? Who just knows? They could get back their seat, but not on the watch of Amaewhule chairman, who happens to be the chairman of Wike, the chairman of Martin Amaewhule. They are both from Obiakpo. There are three of them are from Obiakpo. So I do not see Martin Amaewhule winning his seat under the watch of Obiakpo chairman. That's a hero, Chijoke hero. But let's see how it plays out. Let's move to that conversation. That's good to wrap it up. What's your take? Do you think, in all honesty, that these guys have a chance? For me, I think they are gone. No. If they would accept this truth and move on, try their popularity, see, who knows? Maybe it will be what people still like Martin Amaewhule. You shouldn't just give up. Just do a by-election and see, so that you will have a test of what it will look like if you decide to buy a form and run again in 2027. But then again, maybe it's beyond the election. Maybe it's all about, like Kinga said, could it be all about the treasury of Rivers government, or could it also be all about Fubara himself and not really the speakership or the House itself? Let's meet in our comment section. What's your take? Have a